Hello, this is Bob Jackson. I'm the K-12 Educational Liaison for the PRISM project here at Rose-Hulman. I'm coming to you today with another informational video on some Moodle applications. What I'm going to show you today is how to create multiple choice and true-false questions and put them in a quiz or whatever level of assessment that you want to on one of your Moodle courses. Now you can do this either through your question bank or through a quiz activity. Okay, and I will show you how to access through both ways. Okay, now remember and realize that I have several informational videos that I'm creating on Moodle applications. You can access these videos when you come onto the PRISM website. If you look at the screen now, you'll go to Help and Extras, and then Videos and Tutorials, and then you'll be able to see these are the informational videos that I've made. Okay, one that you particularly may want to watch if you have not yet would be Quiz Question Authoring and Editing Capabilities, which is a little bit more goes into all the editing and how you can author your own questions in more detail, and some of the editing settings that you have on each of the different types of questions. Okay, to where you can really get into authoring your own questions for your own quizzes, or you can edit questions that you've actually imported to your course. Okay, so please realize these are here. View any and all of them, and give me some feedback. Okay, so let's go back to what we was really doing. And like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you multiple choice, how to add multiple choice and true-false questions to your courses. They are actually the easiest to do of all the questions, I would say. Okay, so I'm on my first year chemistry course here. I'm going to go down to where I've added a quiz activity, and you can see that in one of my other videos also, is how you actually add a quiz activity. The quiz activity's been added and appropriate settings put in for it. Okay, now then I'm going to add questions to it, and the way I do that, I will click on it. Okay, and then I go edit quiz. Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm going to click on add. It'll be over here on the right hand side, and then I can add a new question, which that's really what I'm going to do here. And then, or I could go to my question bank. Okay, now then that's where, once you get question banks on your course, of course you won't have until you've worked with your courses for a while, but once you have question banks, then you can add them to your quizzes just from those banks by just going in and selecting them. I mean, it's really that simple. Like if I went to a category here and I wanted every question out of that category, like if I went to biochemistry exam there and I clicked this, then I would have just selected all those questions for my quiz. Okay, but that's not really creating them. Or I can select just which ones I want. Okay, and then you just add them. Alright, but that's not what I'm doing on this one. On this, I'm showing you how to create questions. So I'm going to go to a new question, and I said I'm going to do multiple choice and true false. So I'll start with multiple choice by selecting it. I click add, and then I'm getting the editing screen here. Okay, so you're always going to give a question a name. Now this name is not the question, and it will not appear to students, and it really doesn't matter. I just kind of number mine like Q1.1. okay. Oh, and now one thing I did skip across, you want to make sure, and now it's going to default, if these are the first questions you're adding to a course, it's going to default to this course as a category for your questions. You want to keep categories for your questions so your questions are organized. So you want to be sure and select up here that you have the questions going to the right categories in your question bank. Okay, so I'm just leaving this one on general chemistry. That number means that's how many questions are already in it. And this question is going to go, your questions will always go into a question bank. This question will go into the general chemistry category, and it will be on the quiz that I'm working on here. Okay, so then I'm going to take my question, and I'm going to say, and I'm going to make up my question, and I'm just going to make one up to show you how to do this. Okay, now then, you can open your menu, and that's what my other informational video on question authoring and editing capabilities. I go into each one of these things that you can do with your questions. I'm not going to cover that extensively in this one. I'm just going to show you how to make the multiple choice question. Okay, so I'm going to put my question in here. I'm going to say this is a property of a metal that gives it the ability to be made into sheet metal. Okay, now then, I am going to add a picture to this just to sweeten it up just a little bit. Okay, I don't want it that big. Okay. Okay, whoop. Need to move it. Okay, I put the sheet metal. So this is a property of a metal that gives it the ability to be made in the sheet metal. And I've given them a picture here. I'm going to actually center that. I don't think so. I think I'll leave it right there. Okay. Now then, if you want to go through your tests, if you want just each question be one point, you'll put 1 point there. If you want to make each question 2 points or whatever, maybe 3 points, you can change that there. Okay, so you need to pay attention to that if you want to change the point values for your questioner. For general feedback, it's up to you if you're going to put anything in here. This feedback, of course, will be given to them after they've done the test. Now then, that's where on your quiz activity you select whether it's going to be deferred feedback to whether it comes when everyone's done with the test or when the an individual completes his own attempt. Okay, you select that on the quiz activity itself. Okay, and you can put what you want in here and say malleability is the property of metals that give them the ability to be pressed or made into sheet metal. Okay, now then, you can give them an ID number which can help you organize your questions in categories. I don't know that most teachers use this, but you can give unique numbers if you want to number them. Students will never see it. It'll never appear on the exam. I'm not going to put anything in here. Okay, now then, you can select here one or multiple answers. Okay, on this, and there will be only one answer, so I'm going to leave that. Okay, I usually put shuffle the choices, so each attempt that a student takes on this, the A, B, C, D answers will be shuffled. Okay, with each and every attempt by all the students will not see them all in the same order, or if you give multiple attempts, when the student does it again, the answers will be shuffled around. Okay, so my number choices, that is whether you wanted A, B, C, D answers or these others. Most people just do the A, B, C. Okay, and now with my answers down here. Okay, of course one of them has to be the right answer. Okay, so I'm going to put malleability here. Okay, whichever one's correct, you need to put a value in. Alright, if I've only got one answer, one of them's going to be 100% right. Okay, so that's what I give that one. Okay, and then I'm going to go ductility, solubility, productivity. Okay, always for me, it's always harder to come up with the wrong answers. Okay, now and you can go as many as you want. I'm just going to go 4. Okay, it has up to 5 here, but if you want more choices, you can put more choices. Okay, now then, on each one of these, you do have the full editing capabilities I do cover in one of the other informational videos, that you could actually put in pictures or URL links and so forth to answers down here. You put illustrations, charts, several different things rather than just text. On mine, I've just got text. Okay, now then, you got to make sure one of them you have marked as 100%. Now, if you have more than one answer, then you're going to have to add your answers up to 100%. Okay, for it to accept when you save it. Okay, and then combined feedback. You can edit these if you want. Okay, so for a correct response, your answer is correct. If you want to change that, you can, and put in some emoticons and stuff like that. Give them a smiley face or something. That's totally up to you. Okay, and then on multiple tries, you can give a penalty if you want to on each attempt. Okay, so that's pretty well the settings on your multiple choice questions, and then you just save your changes and you've made your first question. Okay, and you can go back and edit it right here. Okay, if you need to, you can always go back to your questions and edit them. Alright, that's your first question. Okay, now then, as I said, I'd show you true-false questions also, so I'll do those now. So I'm going to go back to add a new question, and then I'm going to go true-false. Okay, and then add. Okay, you have the very same basic setup as before, except for it's not as extensive down here on the for the answers. Okay, because it's a true-false question. You want to make sure and select the category of questions you want to put it in if it's different than the default one for the given course. So you can check that out here so you can keep your questions organized in question banks. Question name, remember that this does not appear to students, but it is a way that you can organize the questions in the question bank. So I'm calling this in quiz 1.2. Okay, so this is true-false, so I want to come up with a true or false question and put in here. Remember, I have all kinds of editing capabilities up here. I'm just going to make it simple. Okay, so I'm going to say luster refers to a property of a metal in regard to the shininess. Kind of a goofy question, but it's alright. Shininess of the, in regard to how a metal shines when struck by sunlight or other light sources. Okay, now it's just me making up a goofy question. Okay, you can select how many points you want it to be worth, 1 or 2 points or 10 points or whatever you want it to be. Okay, and then you can give a general feedback here and say luster is a measure of the shininess of a metal. Okay, ID number, it's up to you if you want to put anything in here. Some people are using this to help organize their questions in the question banks also. Okay, most teachers I don't believe are using it. Okay, the correct answer to my question is true, so I'm going to select true. Okay, it's that simple. If the correct answer is false, you leave it on false, and then you can give feedback to a true answer. You can put like smiley faces in there, okay, things like that. Great job, you answered correctly. Okay, whatever you want there. Feedback for false, you can do like an oops. wrong answer, okay, or whatever you want to type in. Okay, multiple tries. Okay, you can give a penalty for each try. This is on one where they just get it wrong. Okay, but you can take it down by a third or whatever. Okay, I don't give multiple tries on typically true-false questions. Okay, and then you just go save changes. Okay, and there you go. We've made up a multiple choice question and a true-false. You'll learn when you look in your test banks, the little icons show you what kind of questions they are when you're looking down through them. That's multiple choice. The 2 dots is true-false. Okay, that shows you those 2 types of questions, and add them to both the question bank and a quiz activity. Okay, now then, I did say that I was going to show you how you can, rather than going through the quiz activity, you can just build your question banks and add these questions. If you want to add the questions directly to a question bank, so you build your question banks and then use them from there for your quizzes, what you can do, you can go on your course. Okay, if you have the boost theme set up where your menus look like this on your course, then you want to go to, okay, let me go back to the front page of the course. Okay, you go to the edit icon over here in the upper right, you go down to more, and then you will select questions, and then this is all your question banks that you have for yourself, okay, on Moodle. Okay, and your categories will be up here, so you can pick your category and then you can add questions to it. Okay, and you can build all your questions here and then select them into the quiz activity. Okay, and the way you'll do it here, you'll just go create new question, and this is where you can select multiple choice or true false. Okay, now then, if you don't have the boost theme, the way you find your question bank is you go over here to the menus on the left, you come down to the administration block. Okay, now these are over on the left as long as you haven't moved them. If they're docked, they could be docked over here to the side. Just click on the admin panel, it'll open up, and then you come down to question bank, and when you click on it, it'll open up and you see the same screen I just had. Okay, well, it's for a different course. This is anatomy and physiology course. Okay, but there are different categories here. You can select a category that you want to add questions to. Okay, if you have no question banks made yet, it's going to default to the course that you're on. Okay, and that should pretty well sum that up. I've shown you the multiple choice and true false questions and a little bit more. Please give me some feedback on these videos. Let me know if they're doing you any good. If you'd like to make a video of your own and submit it, I would sure like to see some from teachers that are doing some good stuff with Moodle. Have a good week at school, and thank you.